Sophia, Angela, and Bryce. Welcome to orchestra, and my name is Miss Burgess. I'm so excited to have y'all in my class this year. To begin, we're going to talk about the parts of the instrument and how to open our case. So to start off, I need us to all lay our case down on a flat surface, such as the ground. I like to put mine down on the ground down here. So right there, it's nice and flat on the ground. And the reason why we do that is because if our instruments are on something that's kind of unsteady, the case could open up and our instruments could fall out and something could break because they're made out of wood, so they break very easily. So when our case is flat on the ground, can I have us unzip or either unlatch our cases and then open it up? Okay, so to talk about our parts of the instruments, I will be using this book today. Violin, Book 1, Sound Innovations for String Orchestra. And this is the book that we will be using for the rest of the school year. If you don't have this book today, that's perfectly fine because I'll still be using my instruments to reference to each part of the instrument. Okay, so whenever we grab our instrument out of the case, it's very important to always grab it by the neck and by the lower bout, either on the side or the bottom, just to make sure that we have a nice good grip on it, not holding it super tight, but just making sure that our hands are on here so it doesn't fall. Okay, so to start, we're going to talk about this swirly part up here at the top. So this part right here is called our scroll. So kind of like a pirate scroll because it's all rolled up. And then the next part, these are our pegs. You'll never really touch the pegs because I'll usually be the one to touch these because these are connected to the strings and these loosen and tighten our strings. And sometimes if you pull it too tight, then they can snap and break. And if they hit you, it kind of hurts. So I'll always be the one that will touch the pegs up here. So these black parts are the pegs, and then this right here, this little box that you see with all the little strings that are woven around the wood, this is our peg box. So scroll, peg, and peg box. The next part we're going to talk about is this little hump that you see right there. This is called the nut of the instrument. Then we have this long black part that descends all the way over the bottom of the instrument right here. This is our fingerboard. And this is the part where our fingers will play on top of the strings. Okay. And then underneath this black part right here, this brown part is the neck of the instrument, the neck of the instrument. And just like humans, our necks are connected to our shoulders. So the next part of our instrument is called the shoulders, or as you'll see in your book, it's called the upper bout. And then connected to the upper bout are our C bouts. They're kind of shaped like the letter C, so our C bouts. And then using another reference to letters, you'll see these right here, which are kind of shaped. I'll give you a second to guess. Like the letter F. These are our F holes. And that's where the sound will come out whenever we're playing. It'll travel out of the instrument through our F holes. So we have our F holes, and then if you hold your instrument gently by the neck and the lower bout and you tilt your instrument over a little bit, if you look in between through your F holes, you'll see a stick that's going straight up and down. This is the heart of our instrument. This is called the sound post, and this allows the vibration to travel all the way through the instrument, through the lower half and the upper half of our instrument. And it helps produce sound. So if that ever falls over, you ever notice that it's not standing up, you should let me know because that's very important that it needs to stay standing up. Above our sound post on the top of the instrument is our bridge. It kind of looks like a little bridge. And then I only have one gold piece, but y'all will have 4 black pieces. This is our fine tuner, and these will also help us tune our strings up here. And then the fine tuner is connected to this black part, which is called our tailpiece. On top of my tailpiece is my chin rest. Your chin rest will be slightly different. It'll probably be solid black and off to the left side over here. But you'll just gently rest your chin onto there. Okay, and then on the very bottom down here is our end button. And the end button is connected to the lower bouts. So these were the upper bouts, the C bouts, and this is the lower bout, which is where we'll hold it when we're picking our instrument up out of the case. Okay, so now that we've talked about all these parts of the instruments, I'm going to go over a little bit and talk about the strings. So our smallest string is our E string, then we have our A string, then we have our D string, and then we have our G string. I know your strings probably won't be tuned quite yet since it's a new instrument for you. You just rented it, but I'll be able to tune that for you in class, so no worries. And then later we also are going to go over a little song to help us remember the instrument. Remember the strings of the instrument. Okay. The next part we're going to talk about is our shoulder rest right here. And our shoulder rest has little legs that go up, and you can screw them down or screw them up to make them shorter or taller, because it all depends on the size of your neck, because some people have short necks and some people have long necks, so whichever way makes it more comfortable for you when you play. And to put our shoulder rest on, the little curve right here should be resting on our left shoulder. So that's going to be resting right there. To do that, I like to put my instrument down very gently on my lap, and then to just slide my shoulder rest over. So hooking the legs, you'll go down at the bottom and then slide it upwards. Just like that, till it's nice and firm. And then there you go. And I'm gonna let my hands go to just show you that you should be able to hold your instrument like this, but I don't recommend doing that quite yet since we're still learning. But this allows us to slide our hands up and down the neck freely when we're playing. And then the last part of our instrument that I'm going to talk about is our bow. So this is our bow right here. It's very important to never touch this white hair. This white hair is made out of horsehair, but the oils from our fingers will mess it up, so then we won't be able to apply rosin to our bows. Rosin is made from tree sap. Mine looks like this, but yours will probably be a little rectangle that comes in a box. These are very fragile and will break very easily, so please be sure to never drop this. But rosin is made from tree sap, and we apply it to our bows, just doing kind of a back and forth motion and then a long stroke all the way through. We apply it to our bows just like that. So now to continue talking about our bow, down here at the bottom we have the adjusting screw, and then we have the frog. This black part is known as the frog. We have this shiny part. Yours might not be shiny, but mine's shiny. It's the mother of pearl. Then we have the wrapping. You'll have a metal wrapping, and then the black part, which my whole part is black, but it'll be the grip of your bow. And this is the stick, but the whole thing together is referred to as a bow. Then we have the tip, and then this will be referred to as the upper half of your bow. This area to its area is the middle half, and then the lower half down here near the frog of your bow. So those are all the parts of our bow, but I'm going to show you how to tighten it real quick. So to tighten it, if you're looking at your adjusting screw, if you turn it clockwise, so going to the right, righty-tighty, this will tighten our bow. And to know if our bow is tightened well enough, you should be able to just about fit your pinky in there or a pencil. So we'll tighten our bows every time that we're going to play, and then before we put our bows back in the case, it's very important to loosen our bow. So going counterclockwise, going to our left side, we're going to loosen our bows. And as you'll see, the hair will get loose. There you go. You don't need to make it super loose, but just loose enough that there's not tension on the bow. Because if you leave your bow tight, then it'll warp your bow, it'll bend it a certain direction, and that's not good for our bows. We need to keep them nice and straight. And then Once it's loosened, we'll just put our bows back into the case. Okay, so those are all our parts of the instrument and how to unpack the instrument. Thank you.